I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough.
Please join me in the chalice lighting words. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek and seek to share. Take a moment to settle into your space. Take a deep breath in and let it out. This morning, you are asked to have a stone with you for a forgiveness ritual. You will need it later in the service. For now, return to your breath. Let your spirit settle in for our opening words. Reverend Leslie Takahashi writes, "We return again and again to the season of forgiveness. And each time we come bearing gifts. A grudge to relinquish, a hatred to extinguish, a hope that has bloated and distorted, a glancing word that has wounded. And each time we walk the road toward forgiveness, we mutter, 'We have been here before.' When will we remember that forgiveness is not so much an act as an attitude, not so much a duty as a love we give ourselves, as a part of the ever-folding new beginning? Come, let us worship together. Please join together in spirit and voice to sing our opening hymn, 'Come, Come, Whoever You Are.'
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. 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 Ours is no caravan
Time for All Ages. What If Nobody Forgave? By Barbara Marshman. In a land far away, a wise old man who knew a great deal about people because he traveled from place to place arrived at a strange village. In this town, all the people were carrying what seemed to be great bundles on their back. They couldn't look around very well, and they never looked up because of the heavy burdens they carried. Puzzled, the wise old man finally stopped a young fellow. "My good man, I am a stranger in your land, and I am fascinated by these large bundles you all carry about, but never seem to put down. What is their purpose?" "Oh, these," answered the young fellow in a matter-of-fact way, "these are our grudges." "My," said the wise old man, "that's a lot of grudges to collect at your age." "Oh, they're not all mine. Most of them were passed down in my family." The young fellow heaved in a weary sigh. "See that man over there? I have quite a load of grudges against his family. His great-great-grandfather called mine a horse thief when they both wanted to be elected mayor." The wise man looked around and shook his head sadly. "You all look so unhappy. Is there no way to get rid of these burdens?" "We've forgotten how," said the young fellow, shifting his load a little. "You see, at first we were proud of our grudges. Tourists came from miles around. But after a few years, Grudgeville became a dreary place. Nobody came, and we had forgotten how to stop holding our grudges." "If you really want to get rid of those grudges," said the wise old man, "I think I know 5 magic words that will do the trick." "You do?" asked the fellow hopefully. "That would be a miracle. I'll go have the mayor call the people of Grudgeville together." And off he went, as fast as his grudges would let him. The mayor lost no time calling the people to the village square. The mayor and the wise old man stood on a platform where they could see all the hunched-over villagers. When the people had quieted down, the mayor said, "Good people of Grudgeville, a wonderful thing has happened. A very wise stranger has come into our town. He says he can tell us the magic words that will rid us of these grudges we have carried for generations. How many of you would like to be able to straighten up, have your grudges disappear, look at the world in a whole new way? Listen to the wise words of our visitor then, and do as he tells you." "My friends, these are simple words, yet some people find them hard to say," said the wise stranger. "I think you have the courage to speak them. The trick is that you must say them to each other and truly mean them. The first 2 words are, 'I'm sorry.' Can you say them? The other 3 words are, 'I forgive you.' Can you say that? Now, say these words to each other." There was a long pause, then a low grumble from the townspeople. First one person and then another said the words. Soon they were all saying them to each other, quietly at first and then louder. And then, would you believe it, just like the wise man had predicted, the grudges disappeared. What joy there was in the town. People were heard saying, "Look how those trees have grown." And, "Is that you, Jim? How good to see your face." There was dancing in the streets that day, and it wasn't long before the mayor changed the name of the town to Joytown.
Good morning. This is Wisdom from Our Sources. Excerpt 1 from the Book of Forgiving by Desmond Tutu and Mfu Tutu. Prayer before the prayer. I want to be willing to forgive, but I dare not ask for the will to forgive, in case you give it to me, and I am not yet ready. I am not yet ready for my heart to soften. I am not yet ready to be vulnerable again. Not yet ready to see that there is humanity in my tormentor's eyes, or that the one who hurt me may also have cried. I am not yet ready for the journey. I am not yet interested in the path. I am at the prayer before the prayer of forgiveness. Grant me the will to want to forgive. Grant it to me, not yet but soon. Can I even form the words, forgive me? Dare I even look? Do I dare to see the hurt that I have caused? Can I glimpse all the shattered pieces of that fragile thing, that soul trying to rise on the broken wings of hope? But only out of the corner of my eye am I afraid to see it. And if I am afraid to see, how can I not be afraid to say, forgive me? Is there a place where we can meet, you and me, the place in the middle? The no man's land where we straddle the lines where you are right and I am right too, and both of us are wrong and wronged? Can we meet there? And look for the place where the path begins, the path that ends when we forgive. Excerpt 2 from the Book of Forgiving by Desmond Tutu and Mfo Tutu. I would like to share with you two simple truths. There is nothing that cannot be forgiven, and there is no one undeserving of forgiveness. When you can see and understand that we are all bound to one another, whether by birth, by circumstance, or simply by our shared humanity, then you will know this to be true. There have been times when each and every one of us has needed to forgive. There have also been times when each and every one of us has needed to be forgiven. And there will be many times again. In our own ways, we are all broken. Out of that brokenness, we hurt others. Forgiveness is the journey we take forward toward healing the broken parts. It is how we become whole again.
I invite you into a time of meditation. Take a deep breath in and out. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. Relax your shoulders. If you so choose, close your eyes. In this settled state, I invite you to listen to Cantor Ozzie Schwartz sing Return Again. Let the music and the song ground your being and your spirit. Yom Kippur, this is the time of year Jewish people look for reconciliation between each other and with God. 10 days before Yom Kippur, it is custom in Jewish tradition to look back over the past year and make amends with those you have offended by seeking forgiveness. Yom Kippur itself is the day to seek forgiveness from God for any vows that may have been broken. By admitting your wrongs and taking responsibility for them by making amends, you are brought closer to God. It is humbling to come face to face with our own imperfections, our own humanity. It is even more humbling to admit those imperfections to another and ask them to forgive us. Oftentimes, we would rather ignore and forget where there has been harm, where we have been vulnerable. We would like to hold on to those grudges against each other like those in our story, and it makes us feel justified. In Forgive for Good, a proven prescription of health and happiness, psychologist Fred Luskin writes, in careful scientific studies, forgiveness training has been shown to reduce depression, increase hopefulness, decrease anger, improve spiritual connection, and increase emotional self-confidence. On the other hand, hanging on to anger and resentment, living in a constant state of stress, can damage the heart as well as the soul. In fact, research has shown that failure to forgive may be a risk factor for heart disease, high blood pressure, and a score of other chronic stress-related illnesses. Medical and psychological studies have also shown that a person holding on to anger and resentment is at an increased risk for anxiety, depression, insomnia, and is more likely to suffer from high blood pressure, ulcers, migraines, backaches, heartache, heart attack, and even cancer. The reverse is also true. Genuine forgiveness can transform these ailments. In other words, we may feel justified, but we're not healthy doing it. So how do we reach this place of forgiveness where we are asking for forgiveness, granting forgiveness, or forgiving ourselves? According to the Tutus, when harm occurs, we have two paths we can take. We can take the path of revenge or the path of forgiveness. With the path of revenge, we make the choice to continue to harm, whether it be ourselves or others. With the path of forgiveness, we make the choice to heal. Sometimes we hold a burden of anger, resentment, hatred, or hurt. The bitterness stays within us and festers, creating its own wound in our soul. Forgiveness offers a chance for us to let go and start to heal. Forgiveness allows us to let go of the power another has over us. I'm talking only of the internal process of letting go, the one that drags down our soul, burdens our heart, and eats at our spirit. I am not talking about reconciliation, which is the reparation of the relationship between the person harmed and the person who harmed. This is done through mutual agreement of the two or more people and done over time. And sometimes it's not able to be done, nor is it safe to do so. You can forgive without reconciling. Sometimes we are meant to offer forgiveness to those who have wronged us. Sometimes we are meant to ask for forgiveness for those who we have wronged. And sometimes we need to forgive ourselves for actions we have taken that have caused our self-harm. As our awareness of history and ancestors grow, we have the burden of generational harm, societal harm, and racial harm. This is a time to offer forgiveness and healing for those actions, for those ancestors, and to make amends for the past as well as the present harms done. I ask you to pick up your stone, place it in your hands, feel its edges, its creases, its smooth surfaces, and hold it there as we move into our musical interlude. It's a song by Dana River, and it's called Heart Wide Open.
so wide open that the whole world falls in. I confess I've been trying so hard to keep it all out, keep it all out. So love, I pray that you break my heart so wide open that the whole world falls in. I give up trying so hard to keep it all out, keep it all out. So love, fill me, breathe me to pieces. Love, I pray that you break my heart so wide open that the whole world falls in. If I'm made for love, make me strong enough. And when I need to hide, love, hold me in your grace until I feel safe. Then love, fill me, breathe me to pieces. Love, come fall into my heart, it's wide open. Doves fly out and doves come home, here to rest. In my heart is wide open, heart is wide open, my heart is wide open, heart is wide open, my heart is wide open, fill me, breathe me to peace. Heart is wide open, my heart, fill love, I pray that you break my heart so wide open that the whole world falls in.
The tutus remind us, when we forgive, we take back control of our own fate and our feelings. We become our own liberators. We don't forgive to help the other person. We don't forgive for others. We forgive for ourselves. Forgiveness, in other words, is the best form of self-interest. This is true both spiritually and scientifically. The reasons for forgiving ourselves are the same as forgiving others. It is how we become free of the past. It is how we heal and grow. It is how we make meaning out of our suffering, restore our self-esteem, and tell a new story of who we are. If forgiving others leads to an external peace, forgiving ourselves leads to an internal peace. So return your attention to the stone in your hands. Hold it there. Feel its edges, its smooth surfaces, its crevices. Thich Nhat Hanh invites us to imagine a pebble thrown into a river. As it sinks through the water effortlessly, detached from everything, it finally reaches the bottom, the point of perfect rest. We must be that people, letting go of our anger so that we can land at perfect rest. So think of where you are in your life, where you are holding on to anger, resentment, hatred, fear, or bitterness. Think of the people in your life you have the ability to forgive. And if you can, tell them, I forgive you. Bring to mind the people you have harmed or wronged. And if you can, say, I'm sorry. Think of the times you have been angry with yourself and held on to shame or bitterness for what you should have done. Listen to your own heart and find the places you can forgive yourself. And if you can, tell yourself, I'm sorry. Bring to mind any ancestors whose actions have harmed. Let them find forgiveness for their actions through your actions, your healing. Tell them, if you can, I forgive you. Where you have found places of harm in our society, offer forgiveness. And through your actions, may they heal. Let each of these places where forgiveness is possible find a resting place in the rock in your hand. Let them go from your heart, your soul, your spirit, to reside in that piece of earth. Feel the weight of them in the weight of the rock and no longer on your person. And as the weight settles into the rock, let your heart break wide open to receive the healing that comes with forgiveness. And as you feel moved to do so, and when you are ready to let go, I invite you to set your stone down. As you feel the weight lifted from your shoulders, I invite you to say, I let go and begin again. Then let your heart break wide open again with the release of these burdens. At some point in this coming week, find a resting place for your stone. It could be in the church meditation garden, in the Columbia River, in your own garden, or maybe you're not quite ready to let it go. When you are ready, take your stone and find its resting place. It's okay if it takes longer than a week for you to find that place. Listen to your heart and your spirit to know when it is time. Please join me in the responsive reading, number 637 from our hymnal. Your response will be, "We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love." For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that we have struck out in anger without just cause, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time our greed has blinded us to the needs of others, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For the selfishness that sets us apart and alone, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For losing sight of our unity, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For these and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, we have fueled the illusion of separateness. We forgive ourselves and each other, and we begin again in love.
Hello, UU family. I'm going to sing a song with you called Shine on Me. It's an amazing spiritual that anybody can sing. And in these days when the things that we're dealing with, the feeling separate and all of that, and things seem so hard, this is one of those songs that you just throw your head back, put it in your medicine kit. All you have to do is ask. And here's how it goes. Shine on me, oh shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me, oh shine on me, yes shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. Lift me up, oh, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up, oh, lift me up, yes, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up, oh, hold me close, yes, hold me close. Let the light from the lighthouse hold me close. Yes, hold me close. So hold me me close. Let the light from the lighthouse please hold me close. Oh, shine on me, shine on me, yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. Oh, shine on me. Yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. All you have to do is just ask. The light is always there. Always. Always. Oh, yeah.
Please join me in the chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. The tutus remind us we are fragile and flawed humans who commit offenses against each other. When we do these things, we are not monsters. We are human beings who have become separated from our own goodness. May we each find time to follow the path of forgiveness and remember our own goodness and the goodness in others. Love be with you. Please raise your hands in the spirit of connection for our closing song.
Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Here in reverence now we gather for the blessings we have known, with a pledge to one another that we journey not alone. Joy and sorrow make us wise into all that lives and dies. Love calls us on. Love calls us on. Words and deeds of those before